Hello, Mountain Patriot Homestead family, and welcome back to our home. And I hope everyone is having a good weekend and had a good week. I know there are a lot of you that are out there that are currently going through some hardships, everything from job losses and floods and just whatever is going on in your life that isn't quite right now. I just want you to know that our hearts go out to you and we love you and hope that everything improves for you real soon. Everything here on the homestead is going well. It's as it always is, and as you hear me say every time you come here, it is a busy time for us. My husband, as a matter of fact, just had to make a run to town because he had to go to the hardware store, I think, to pick up some parts that he's working on getting a trailer fixed and just some other items that he's working on in the shop. So he needed some parts that he realized he didn't have, and so he's ran to get that. So I thought I would make a short video while we were doing while he was doing that. And I currently have some a pear cake in the oven, so that kind of limits me on time. So lucky for you, you know, I can't be as long-winded as I normally am, but I have a fresh pear cake in the oven, as I said. The pears come off of one of our trees, and I peeled them just right before I made the cake, and so it is definitely a fresh pear cake. Other than that, I got some tomatoes juiced this morning and in jars, and I've got yarrow that is dehydrating. I put out a video about yarrow. It didn't go into great detail on preservation methods of yarrow, but it does give you a little bit of just a very little bit of history of yarrow, as well as some of the uses of it. I tried to keep it a shorter video because I know some of you don't have a great deal of time to just sit and listen to long rambling videos. And so I kept that one short. If you would like to see something a little more detailed about yarrow or any other medicinal herb that you would like to learn more about, if you will leave a comment of what you would like to hear about, I will try to put something together for that. Otherwise, let's see, what else do we have going on? We have two pups that are in rehab today. They are currently staying in the barn because our two little 6-month-old girl pups, our Pyrenees pups, which are part of our large guard dog family here on the farm, are recovering from being fixed yesterday, and so they're not happy. They want to be out with their family, which are the goats, because that's all they know, that's all they've ever lived with. So they want to be back out with them, but you know, they need a few days to recuperate and get healthy, and then we can put them back out there. They recovered fine from that. They seem to be doing great and just unhappy to be separated from their loved ones, and so we'll get them back out as soon as it is safe for us to do so. Other than that, we've got mama ducks that are still sitting on the nest. Of course, before long, it'll be the days will be, of course, they're already getting shorter, and even though it's not even August yet, it will not be long before we'll be knocking on the door of fall. And as a matter of fact, the temperature this morning was very reminiscent of a fall morning. because we started out the day at 60 degrees. Now, for us at the end of July, just about ready to go into August, 60 degrees it's kind of cool, especially when we've been having mid to upper 90 degree temperatures, and in town they've had quite a few days over 100. So it actually felt very good. I'm not complaining. If I can get 60 degree days in July, I'm ecstatic. That's wonderful. The high right now is, I think, 78. So wonderful temperature. I'm good with it. But it won't be long before the days will start shortening down, and it'll start cooling down, and we'll be entering my favorite season of the year, which is fall. And I guess one reason that it is fall is, of course, we're still harvesting things when it comes fall, because right now we're really, you know, the tomatoes are coming in, and I way overplanted eggplant, so I'm going to really have to do some preservation with eggplant when those are ready, and they almost are. But I way overplanted eggplant, and the eggplants are going out of their way to see how much they can produce. So eggplant casseroles and eggplant, anything eggplant. If you have an eggplant recipe that you would like to share, please put it in the comments, because I love eggplant, but wow, I've planted obviously way too many. The pear trees, as I said, I've got a pear cake in the oven, and the pear trees are loaded, as are the apple trees. Both of those species this year just went crazy, and they are so loaded that the limbs are just touching the ground. They're so heavy. So there'll be a lot of apples and pears to be put up come, well, I would say come fall, but for some reason they seem to be getting ready early this year. And so I'm already starting to have to find uses for them, which is perfectly fine. I feel so blessed that we have what we have. So all the critters are healthy, as far as I know. Yesterday, we have our cows and the neighbors' cows kind of run together, and because we share a bull right now, and one of their cows, heifers, had a calf, and we noticed that they noticed that they weren't seeing the calf. They saw her, but they weren't seeing the baby, and she kept coming over to our side of the pasture and acting all frantic. And the later that it got in the day, I observed her a couple of different times, and she was just getting, you know, typical mama, you know, where's my baby? Can't find my baby. I know my baby's around here somewhere. And she kept looking over into another field that adjoins ours, and you could tell she was really upset and looking for her baby. So we all got together and went, and where she was at, looking across into it, I mean, just a thicket, where she was looking across, one of our neighbors, she was walking through and almost stepped on it because it was laying so still and was being so quiet, which is what newborn calves will do. Mama will put them down, and I don't know if Mama tells them, be quiet, don't make any sound, because that little one was not, and she almost stepped on it, you know, before she saw it. And thankfully, my husband lifted it, I say her, I think it may have actually been a little bull, lifted it across the fence, and it immediately went to Mama, and it and Mama took off. It was having no health issues and looked like a very sturdy little calf. So that was a happy ending. Sometimes on the farm you don't always have happy endings. As a matter of fact, we lost our mama cat the other day. We're not really sure what happened to her, but we just found her dead, and there was no apparent reason for her to be dead. So I'm really not sure what happened to her, but yeah, that's just heartbreaking, because we hate to lose any animals here on the farm. But she was such a good mouser, and she's got a litter of kittens that they're old enough to be weaned. They're 8 weeks old or older, and but you know, they still sit down there. I've seen them this morning. They were still sitting there waiting on Mama, and Mama wasn't coming back. So you know, that's sad. And I know people think that anybody that raises animals for food, not everybody, because you know, if you eat meat, you know where meat comes from. But I know I recently saw someone that said anyone that eats meat or raises meat for consumption are just disgusting, horrible people, and we're just vilifying the farmer and the small farmers and ranchers that would raise meat. And you know, it's kind of upsetting when we see something like that, even though you know, we know there's people like that, and you just can't be offended, because everybody has their own feelings and beliefs about things. But to know how much care, how much effort that we go into trying to save our animals. Yes, we may put them in the freezer at some point, but to know how much care we put into keeping them healthy, keeping them fed, keeping them safe, and then humanely harvesting them, it's I don't know, disturbing to know that there's other people that just think that we're horrible, vile creatures because we do something like that. But you know, it's just like religion. You can't change people's minds that don't want to believe. So you know, I'm just sorry that people feel that way. But you know, we do, everything here on our place has a function, has a purpose, no matter what that purpose is. You know, I mean, we've got our large guard dogs here that protect our other animals. That's their job. We've got chickens that give us meat, give us eggs, give us entertainment. We've got some chickens here that are way past their prime. I've got a rooster here that, bless his heart, he serves no purpose at all other than he crows every day, and he's just been here for so long. I can't imagine Buddy not being here, because he's just been here for so long. And but you know, he has served his purpose, and he's remaining around just because this is home, and you know, he's just a good boy, and so we just keep Buddy around. You know, we've got the goats here, we've got cows. You know, we have the ducks and the geese. They are wonderful for insect control. So, and we've got guineas. I'm really not sure what our guineas are for, other than they make noise, but they're good for insect control. But you know, everything here serves a purpose and has a function. Some days we question what that purpose and function is, but it does. And sometimes that purpose is for food. And just like we raise a garden and it feeds us, we raise our animals, our livestock, for the same purpose. I don't know how many of you out there raise your own food. I hope, though, that if you are not raising your own food, that you're staying apprised of situations concerning food and food shortages and that sort of thing. So if you don't raise your own food, that if you have access to a farmer's market or a local farm or some type of community shared program, that you're able to get good, healthy, safe food to put food on your table, and hopefully you're putting by some extra for those times that it may be a little in short supply at the store. Just remember that our food system, our supply system for food, is only as secure as the weather allows, the economic standings allow. I'm sorry, that little flicker that you've seen on the screen, that was a fly ran right in front of the camera. I'm sorry. But there's so many things that can affect our food supply and whether we have things to put on the table or not. Just like here on the farm, if we don't get rain, if we don't get the right temperatures, if something's wrong with the seed, there's so many things that can affect how our food supply here runs. So please be mindful of that and keep your cabinets and pantries and freezers, or however you preserve your food, keep that stocked up, because you never know. Same thing with medicinals. If there is certain medicines that you are required to take, make sure that you keep those in stock. Keep household goods in stock. Just keep things supplied, because you never know. There could be an emergency. There could be a supply issue if deliveries are not made promptly to stores. Sometimes that can cause supply chain issues, and just be aware that there's a lot of things out there that can affect what comes to us. So, even out here on the farm, we've still got to have things that come from town. Just like my husband having to run off to town, there's just certain things we need. Well, I know it is almost time for my alarm to go off on my cake that's in the oven, so I better say goodbye and tell you that it is always wonderful talking to you, and I hope you have a great afternoon. Stay safe, stay happy. Love y'all. Mountain Patriot Homestead, signing out.